Thank you guys for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Now I have a fitting sweatshirt today. Please excuse the dog hair. Um Future, she belongs to the streets. If you guys want this merch back, this was merch back in the day. Um, you know, and the reason I think that this was a good sweatshirt to have is because really, I think all women are whores. Pretty much every single woman has a whore. And recently, I was in a conversation with a right wing e girl. It'll come out this week. And it was all in good fun. And none of this is meant to attack any of you ladies personally. Okay. I know it feels that way. But I am like autistic. Don't take it personal. It's me. I'm the problem. I'm basically this autistic level woman. And when I see things that aren't accurate, I just have to be like, wait. So I'm talking to this woman. And I just noticed how every right wing e girl I have on the show has to virtue signal for 20 minutes. They have to let me know how they are different. They are special. They're not like the others. And I thought to myself, is this what men feel like on dates? This has to be the most annoying thing ever when you're dating a woman and she has to prove to you that she's not a whore. Because me personally, I'm really not going to look into it too deeply until you start signaling purity. And I think the men are kind of that way too. Like if a woman's doing a good job and she just shuts up, men aren't really going to look into it to make sure you're not a whore. Yeah, and what you get now that some of the people in the chat are saying, Pearl, you're coping. Not all women are whores. You're a big coper. Well, to that I say, well, if your wife's not a whore for you, I got bad news for you fellas. I got bad news. So, anyways, these women, and I realize every single right-wing e-girl has to run cover for her reputation. Like, I was watching this one right-wing e-girl, and I just, I think 'cause I'm in the space, it's just a different breed. And this woman spends like 20 minutes of this video saying, well, I'm on the internet, but I'm only on the internet because the other women are on the internet. Shut up. Just be on the internet. Just be here. Take the hit. I take a lot of hit to my reputation in some way because I'm on the internet. I do. Just eat it. Just eat it. You're less desirable to men. It is what it is because you're super online. It is what it, just eat it. And another right-wing e-girl, divorced, right? And every time this right-wing, she came on the show the other day and it's 20 minutes. Well, my divorce was different. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! And I catch myself doing it at times too. I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I just needed to rant for like an hour about how annoying this is. I just needed to talk about it because God, it's the most annoying thing ever. And I just wanted to know from the men, when you're on dates, is this what it feels like? And I see this everywhere. Once you see virtue signaling, you just can't unsee it. So a virtue signal, I got the definition. Publicly expresses opinions or sentiment intended to demonstrate one's good character or social conscience or moral correctness of one's position on a particular issue. So this is what the tradcon, the E, the right, the conservative sphere always does. They grift their religion. They're like, I am awesome, but here's my cross in the background. I'm a good person. I swear. I'm great. And even, okay, so I'm going to pull up a couple examples. Oh no, I need to log into my Twitter. My bad. The two-factor saves my ass because I get locked out of everything. And you know what the worst part is? I had this woman on my show, and this is not just her; it's every right-wing e-girl. I hate that I have to. I don't even care if they want to signal purity, but I hate that I have to take up. I hate that I can't push back and be like, "Hey, I don't believe you," because it's going to take up the whole show. We'll never get to the topic. We'll never get there. We'll never. So here is an example. Now, a lot of times when conservatives grift how good of a person they are, right? Allow to share window. Oh no. What's the one I can use again? Oh no. That is not what I was trying to do. Okay. Hold on. That is not what I was trying to do. You might want to trim that, guys. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me figure out how to do this. Do I consider myself conservative? Not conservative enough, and I'll tell you what. What is the Firefox? I think it is. I think I gotta open Firefox. This always happens when someone's in here. Because I always forget. But what really irritates me and this is why me and Milo the other day, I guess we were beefing. Because, Nick F, he was talking about, because I didn't really like how Milo, and it's a one-sided beef. I'm not really beefing with him. But I didn't like how he was attacking Nick's character and just saying, oh, he's a bad person. He's a bad person. I'm just thinking, Milo, what, are you a good person, really? Are we really gonna? I'm not saying I'm a good person, but it's like, come on. All right, where is Firefox? Can you guys put in the chat what is the browser for StreamYard? Chrome. This always happens. Hold on. Let me redo this. Chrome. Okay, I need to get into a different browser so I can share my stream. Give me a second. All right, I gotta leave. Hold on, guys. All right, now I'm back. All right, excuse me. So I'm looking at Twitter today, and sometimes the virtue signaling is just too much for me. I'm like, I get it. You're a great person. We suck. But and a lot of times it gives you a weird feeling, right? Here we go.
Big sister to me.
So Brett Cooper made a video dedicated to talking about, to heavily insinuating how good of a person she is because she has these amazing morals and is not going to turn her back on any of the people around her. It's like, why don't you just not turn your back on this is the thing about women. It's like, why don't you just do the action? And then, let your actions speak for yourself. Again, it's not the same thing when you don't turn on people and then you put a camera in your face and you say, I am so awesome because I'm not turning on people. Why do you not take the clout for it? Do you know what I mean? Like, why don't you guys just have the kids and not put them on the internet? Why don't you just have a child?
I will not stop being friends with Candace Owens, who has become like a big sister to me because the internet demands it. I will not attack Matt just because I no longer work with him or because the internet has decided to pile on to him for the 27th millionth time. I also will not pile on to attacks on Ben Shapiro's character because he was nothing but kind and supportive of me during my time at Daily Wire. And that is a fact. I just won't do it. And if you have a problem with any of
Now, again, virtue signal. I would never do that. Just don't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, influencers, we are just the worst class of people, right? We're the worst class because we can never do a good thing and not record it. We just can't. It's impossible. It's impossible. We're like, ooh, let me grab my phone. Ooh, we can't.
That's fine. That is your prerogative. It simply means that we have different values. And guess what? It is a free country. That is the beauty of
my values are awesome. You're suck, assholes. Now, again, this is women coming into a male space and then trying to virtue signal instead of doing their job. They're saying, what's your take on this? And she's like, I won't talk shit about them. You're a commentator. You know what I mean?